Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we continue with our discussion on EI and EQ and what are the parameters in which we have to imbue ourselves to become a successful life coach or counselor in positive Islamic cognitive behavior therapy. Alright, so we have discussed in the previous video about the Pi-CBT framework. Always remember IIAS, intention, intervention, attitudinal change, attitudinal and values transformation, development and self-actualization. IIAS, and our attitudinal value will be, as counselor, will be mercy, compassion, empathy, forgiveness and love. So we have this. So again, we must have the 5R flow for psychotherapy. This is specific to Pi-CBT psychotherapy. First, realize our own realization in terms of our own self and our client in terms of our being. I'll discuss with you the 5 parameters as mentioned by Daniel Goleman. And the 5 values I've mentioned to you. The steps are: first, realize. Second step is record, reframe, review, relive, L-I-V-E. Relive to achieve a high level of life or living, to achieve self-actualization. So what we need to do is basically, yesterday I've given you the questionnaire. So we go to the parameters as mentioned by Goleman. You scroll. Okay. So the characteristic as mentioned by Daniel Goleman is basically 5 areas of EI: emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. 1 is self-awareness, 2 is self-regulation, 3 is motivation, 4 is empathy, 5 is social skills. So we have to have these 5 areas of skills if we want to become a successful life coach or counselor, because this is the minimum parameter of becoming successful in interaction with your client. So this is very basic insofar as developmental approach for our own self-development, as also to achieve our higher level of efficacy in terms of our counseling or coaching work. So if for self-awareness, I have given you the questionnaire on spiritual intelligence or spiritual quotient. Self-awareness is at a higher level. So we have self-awareness insofar as what we are supposed to be able to realize. So what matter is, according to Goleman, IQ is not enough. EQ is more important. So that's why successful people have higher EQ. Maybe they have a lower IQ. People with a higher level of IQ end up being not able to achieve success in life because they are unable to interact at a higher level with their co-workers, with their friends and so on. So as a result, they cannot achieve that success that they want. So the same thing as a coach, life coach or counselor, you must understand that EQ is much more important than IQ. Alright? So to increase self-awareness, learn about mindfulness. So here, because the model that they use in the Western world is about mindfulness, is good. That means it's not just the brain, it's not just neurological, but you have this mindfulness approach. So you have mindfulness, meditation, and so on, depending on what kind of therapy you do, whether it's this MBCT or DBT or what other mindfulness type of therapy protocol, they will use mindfulness, meditation and so on. For Muslims, we have no problem because our awareness of our nature of the self, I have explained many times, we must be aware that we are a spiritual being living temporarily in the physical world, in this dunya, that we are going to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah has given this life as a test for us, and Allah has given us symbolic language and tools for us to lead a life to be His sincere servant and His Khalifa on this earth. We have the consciousness, the awareness, self-awareness that we are the Khalifa of Allah on this earth, that our duty is to make ourselves good, to help others to be good and make the world good. So that is very clear. Self-awareness from the Islamic perspective is very deep and very clear, and we must be able to imbue this idea in our own being, our own understanding of who we are, and also try gently to bring this idea to our client who are having a lot of psychological problems. Okay, To increase self-awareness, learn about mindfulness. For us, learn the whole idea of Islam in terms of our Islam, Iman, Ihsan, also in terms of our ibadah, also in terms of our muhasabah, muraqabah, and all other techniques of mindfulness within the perspective of Islam, which I'm going to give you many more tools, inshallah. This involves frequencing on the present moment. So if we have our other model, you have seen that we all must live in the presence. Alright? So it is no point for us to dwell the past. The past is gone. The future is not arrived yet. So we must always look at the present circumstances and how we can always strive to make ourselves good, help others to be good, and make the world good as a Khalifa of Allah. So this including focusing on how your feelings, your own feelings, about the awareness of your own self-existence. Where are you? In Latin they say quo vadis. Which way are you going? Alright, so you must reflect on that. Think about how, what, when, where, and why, so that inshallah you will be able to develop a better inner self-awareness for your own self-development, as well as to help others within your circle of your family, your friends, your client, the society, and so on. Alright, you also need to understand your strength and weakness to build self-awareness. Do a personal SWOT. SWOT is a very simple analysis, SWOT. You can take a little piece of paper and then write down S. S equals strength. What are my strengths as a person? For example, as a person, I'm interested in knowledge. As a person, I'm good at interacting. Whatever your strength is, you read out, say 8 or 9 strength. Then weakness. What are your weakness? Your weakness could be, okay, I keep on procrastinating, procrastinate all my assignments, I don't do on time, or sometimes I'm lazy. Whatever that you have listed out. All right, you don't finish project on time, or you are sometimes distracted by other challenges, or you are on the handphone 5 hours a day. Whatever is your weaknesses. S is for strength, W is for weakness, O is for opportunity. What is the opportunity ahead for you? What can you be? What can you do? What can you achieve? What can you contribute to the ummah and to the world? That is the opportunity that you have. Threat could be maybe you have problems in terms of your medical, or maybe you don't have enough qualification to achieve what you dream of achieving, or maybe you are in poverty. Whatever is the threat. So from this SWOT analysis, you can have a sense of your own self-worth and also self-awareness. Okay, so if you go back to the questionnaire, you go back to question 1, 8 and 1, 8 and 11. Question 1 is always, alright, for self-awareness is 1, I can recognize my emotion, I experience them. Number 8, alright, I know my strength and weakness. And question number 11, I ask people for feedback on what I do well and how I can improve. So if you score high on question 1, 8 and 11, that means your level of self-awareness. If you score 15, alright, it's very high. But if you score only 3, then you need to do a lot of improvement in terms of the parameters, IQ parameters, EQ parameters, emotional intelligence parameters of self-awareness. Okay. Self-regulation. Okay, self-regulation is question number 2, 4 and 7. So for self-regulation is how you regulate and staying in control in whatever you do in life. This is very important, especially when you are facing a lot of challenges as a life coach and as a counselor. So question number 2 is always, for example, question number 2, I lose my temper when I'm frustrated. Can you be a life coach or a counselor? You losing your temper in front of your client, you will be a joke. All right. So this is where you have to ask yourself, what is your score on this? There's a negative score. There's a there on that. All right. Question number 2. Question number 4, I know how to calm myself down when I feel anxious or upset. Because very important, when you are involved with another person, you are involved with the other person emotionally, you are tied down. But if you are also being drawn by their sense of negative emotion, then you have no control. So you must learn how to be able to stay in control. All right. So you have got to develop the skill in this area of how to manage your emotion. And question number 7, I find it difficult to move on when I'm frustrated or unhappy. So again, if this is your weakness, then you have to work on it so that you have better self-regulation. If you are often and get angry, note that what triggers this feeling. So when you get angry, you must be able to diary down what is the trigger, what is the trigger, what is this trigger. Sometimes the trigger is very petty things. So you put in your diary, all right, what is the trigger, that feelings? Think about this, why this happened to you. So again, you ask yourself why. All right. Use techniques such as deep breathing. So you can use technique when you're about to get angry, you breathe in, and then you hold. And then for Muslims, very easy. As you breathe in, you hold. We always are recommended to say Astaghfirullahal Azim. So as you breathe in, hold. You breathe in slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, and then as you exhale, you say Astaghfirullahal Azim. Breathe in. Astaghfirullahal Azim. And make it a practice so that when you are on the trigger point and getting very angry, you go back to Allah. So this is a very simple technique, very, very effective, especially you are in a quarrel situation with your wife or your children or your colleague and so on. What do? Just instead of just deep breathing, being aware of your breath, you breathe in, slow breathe, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, and then exhale, Astaghfirullahal Azim. Very simple. Practice that anytime, anywhere you go. While you are anxious, when you are angry, when you are feeling, the feeling of anxiety. So you can use this technique and give it to your client who are facing the same problem of depression, anxiety, and so on. It's a very simple technique which you can practice while walking, while sitting down, while working, while everything. Naturally, when you are alone, you can say it in a very low voice. But if you are alone, you are with your colleague, you can do it in your heart. All right, you breathe in, hold. So what do you say to your heart? Astaghfirullah. You breathe out as if you breathe in and breathe out as if it's coming from your heart, because the qalb, the physical heart, is the center of the qalb. This is from Islamic theology. So you can philosophy. So if you can think that you are breathing from the heart, so I'm saying from my heart what? Astaghfirullahal Azim. And then repeat it. Slowly you can control, inshallah, this very simple technique of controlling your anger. Alright? To calm, deep breathing to calm yourself down, and give yourself time to pause before you respond to, for example, an argument or email or whatever it is. You may also be affected by other negative feelings and emotions, such as anxiety and stress. So you must be able to learn how to manage your own anxiety and have a good emotional hygiene, as mentioned to you, as well as stress management techniques. Accountability is another important element of self-regulation. Take responsibility for your action and behavior, and make sure that you align, because you cannot have cognitive dissonance. What you say and what you do is entirely different. You give your customer, your client, some very good advice, but you're not doing those very things that you are supposed to tell them. No, you must be able to control your anger, you must be able to this. But deep in your heart, you are also not practicing that. Then that is, from Islamic perspective, is not acceptable, because Allah knows what is deep in your heart. And it is, in psychology, it's cognitive dissonance. But from the Islamic perspective, it could be a sifah munafiq, a sifah of people who are hypocrite. So we do not want to be hypocrite. If we are unable to do that, we can also tell, I also have that same weakness as you have. All right, let's together solve this problem. All right, this challenge. All right. Next is motivation. Okay, self-motivation is the key to become achievers in life. So you go back to our video. We have 135 videos in YouTube. Islamic Motivation PIP. You go there, I have recorded that video. Inshallah, it will be turned into a book. I have 2 friends who are, inshallah, working on it to have Positive Islamic Psychology Series 1 book. The first series will be on being achievers in life. Why? Because we want Muslims to be achievers. They must have the self-motivation to achieve whatever that they want to do in this dunya. Good things. We are not talking about bad things. So self-motivation slowly affects our emotion, because if you have a very strong self-motivation to achieve something, you are always positive, and your emotion is always positive. So if you are distracted, naturally your emotion will become negative, and your task of getting that through will be very difficult. Number 2, boost your motivation level by developing what? Self-discipline. And celebrate small wins. You do small things that is achievable, then it's easier. For example, inshallah, I'm doing 1 video a day. I'm not doing 10 videos a day. It's too big. It's just like you want to eat 1 whole cow. You have a whole cow. If you have slaughtered the whole cow, you want to eat the whole cow, you can't eat it in a day. So if I want to eat the whole cow, I have to cut in small pieces, maybe 100 gram or 50 gram a day. I keep it in the freezer, and inshallah, in 2 years, I finish the whole cow. So the same thing. All right, do small tasks and celebrate each day when you complete. For example, if I complete my one video, Alhamdulillah, I say to Allah, Ya Allah, Alhamdulillah, I've done something good today. May Allah bless me, be able to do tomorrow, and so on. So you celebrate your small win by going back to Allah, or celebrating with your family, or doing things that will give you the inner feeling of achievement for your own self-realization. All right. Also, set yourself longer term goals. So what do you want to have in your long-term goals? So what do you want to do in the future? What are the things that you want to do so that you can contribute to your own success, the success of your family, success of your friends, success of your community, success of your country, success of the ummah, and so many successes. You can work on many levels. So each and every one of us will have different capabilities. For example, a poor farmer in a rural area may not have the capability of doing, say, videos like what I'm doing. So they can only do impact within the farming community, within themselves. But now with the internet, maybe if they are good, they can even upload some of the good things that they do, in terms of maybe they have a new way of planting fruit trees, or they may have permaculture skills and so on. Then they can put up. So you can impact the world. So the same thing, if, for example, I'm doing this video, all right? It's just a simple video, about 10-20 minutes a day. Alhamdulillah. It may not be useful maybe today, but maybe 10-20 years from now, maybe there's some young people who want to see this video and may want to act on it and develop their own sense of self-motivation and self-worth, and then they can have a higher level of knowledge than what I have, and then they can impact the world, inshallah. So everything that we do, remember, what we do is just like a seed. This one seed, the little seed, little acorn, inshallah, if we nurture it, it will grow into an oak tree. All right, so it can be a huge tree that will give us the tawab, the barakah, the sadaqah for our life in this world, and the barakah in the life hereafter, in which we seek peace and happiness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Also set your long-term goal, and then if you're still struggling, get motivated in your current role, take some time off, discover your purpose, go for holiday, go for nature walk, reflect while you're walking, spend 1 hour a day exercising in some quiet place. So many things that you can do, inshallah, that will then give you a sense of balance and motivation. Empathy, I have covered this, the whole empathy quotient. All right. In this questionnaire is question number 3, 13 and 15. Question number 3, people told me that I'm a good listener. All right. Question number 13. All right. I find it difficult to read other people's emotion. This is the reverse question. And the question number 15, I use active listening skills when I speak to people. So empathy is very important. So start by something simple about other people's viewpoint. Imagine you are in that position. You're feeling what they are feeling. All right. And then use your active listening skills to reach out to them and understand what is their expression, what is their emotion at that point of time, and how you can positively react so that you can make a good, a good prognosis of their problems, and inshallah they can then be influenced by your empathy, genuine empathy from your heart. Try not to interrupt talk about your own feelings during conversation. Look at their body language, look at the person, give them more time to talk, air out whatever their difficulties that they have, and then only come in to coach or mentor at the point when you find that it is effective, when you have empathized with them totally with their problem. Social skill is question number 5, 9 and 14. So as a coach, counselor, you must have very good social skills. So question number 5 would be, I enjoy organizing groups. So it is always working in a group. Question number 9 is, I avoid conflicts and negotiation. That means you don't escape from conflicts and negotiation, because all the time you have to negotiate all the time. There will be conflicts in your line of work. All right. So inshallah, you must be able to face them and not become an escapism. And then question number 14, I struggle to build rapport with other people. So you should not be a person who is negative in trying to build rapport. You can develop rapport skills very fast. Again, inshallah, there will be other toolkits that I can give it to you in terms of rapport. All right. So even you are not a natural people's person, it's possible to develop better social skills. Don't shy away from negative situation either. Learn how to deal with conflicts and other difficult situations. If you are uncomfortable with social situations, work building on self-confidence. Start slowly, but then look for opportunities to practice your skill with bigger group. For example, you could offer to attend conferences on their behalf of the team and so on, and slowly develop your skills. All right. So these are the key points which Daniel Goleman has mentioned: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. The 5 key points in terms of EI, emotional intelligence, and emotional quotient. Learn about this, implement this, and inshallah you can be a successful life coach, successful counselor. All this requiring knowing that we are the servant of Allah, the Caliph of Allah, striving to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, making the world good, inshallah.